I haven't always been a confident person. And it kind of, in a way, makes me laugh how many people think that I am confident, because I am now. But they don't realize what the journey it's been to get here and what I had to overcome and learn in order to be where I am right now with that kind of level of skill in being a confident, self-loving, self-accepting go-getter in my life. So this video is sort of a sharing of my story and my struggles with confidence and the journey to get from where I used to be to where I am right now, and what kind of practical steps and practices really help me to get to this good place in my life when it comes to confidence and self-assurance. Just to give you an idea of just how bad it used to be for me, we're going to go back, like many years back to my primary school. Because in primary school, I really hit that point, I guess low point, where I realized just how much I was hating myself and disliking the kind of person that I was. I was chronically shy. I didn't have any friends in primary school. Like, I would spend each break between lessons in school just sitting somewhere in the corner with a book. Like, that was me. I had absolutely no abilities to talk to people or no confidence to talk to people, and I was struggling with even like the simplest conversations. I was just kind of losing myself completely in my studies and in my reading because I didn't know what else to do with my life, and I didn't know what kind of value otherwise I could bring to the world. So I was just studying like crazy, always the best student, reading a lot, etc. And while that was rewarding and was making my life easier, obviously I didn't have to stress about tests or exams or, passing from one class to the next. That was actually also a big reminder about just how miserable my life was at the same time, because there was a big part that was missing from it, which was the ability and the confidence to talk to others, to have a thriving social life, and to enjoy my life outside of purely being a diligent little girl. So, my first practice, I guess, the first thing I did when I realized that how much I was disliking myself and how much I wanted to change things, was to learn how to actually have conversations with others. And don't laugh when I tell you this. I kind of laugh a little with embarrassment. But what I did was I would script questions on a piece of paper for myself that I could ask somebody. So I would literally write 3 questions on a piece of paper and have it in my pocket somewhere. And then when there was an opportunity, I would check my questions and I would literally just approach someone and ask the first question, listen to their answer, and then ask the second question and listen to their answer, and then ask my third question, listen, and then smile and walk away. Like, that was my beginnings. Like, that's how I was teaching myself to, I guess, have enough confidence to actually start talking to others and to start developing connections with other kids at school. And I kind of still admire, in a way, the brilliance of that approach. This is something I would probably still advise and recommend to others to do. Yeah, prepare yourself. If you want to have a conversation and you feel uncertain about it or lacking confidence to have that kind of conversation with anybody, script maybe some questions and prepare for that conversation. That was my beginnings. That's what I did for I'd say probably at least a year before I felt confident enough to not have scripted questions anymore. Because after doing that consistently and regularly for many months, one day I realized that I actually felt confident enough to approach someone and just have a conversation without the backup of my scripted questions. So that was a huge step to realize that. I was still shy, I was still lacking confidence, but at least I started to find it easier to talk to people and to start having friendships and a bit of a social life around me. So that was a very important step. Another thing I did was this kind of personal development journey that started quite early for me. Like I literally started reading books about creating a better life for myself, like from a very young age. I always was a huge bookworm. That's just part of who I am, and most of my family are like that as well. But you know, like what my parents got me to do was to read fiction, whereas back then, when I was still a teenager, I started to dive into non-fictional books, self-help, the motivational books, etc. And I started to learn about this whole world of improving your life in a variety of ways, from how to create a better friendship to how psychology works to power of motivation to create anything you desire. Like I was just reading anything that I could get my hands on, and I was filling my head with these ideas that life can be better for me if I take matters into my hands, if I develop the kind of confidence I want and desire, and if I have the balls to go for things. I still didn't have the balls back then, but I was really immersing myself in the world of this kind of ideas and this kind of inspiration, which was very important. What came later were different workshops and events and seminars and webinars, etc. And that was kind of like a next step to actually start to practice all of these things as opposed to just reading about them. But then by going to events and seminars and learning in a more hands-on way, I was even more forced to face my demons when it came to confidence and to kind of take things to the next level. Mind you, this took years for me. This was such a journey for me because maybe I just came from really such a shut down place where I just really felt like this gray little mouse that nobody paid attention to, nobody liked, nobody respected, didn't have a voice at all. I didn't even have enough strength in me or strength in my convictions to express any opinions. Like that's how shut down I was. I would just accept the opinions of everybody else because surely they knew better than me, tiny little gray mouse. So I just had to listen to them. That was such a breakthrough towards sort of around my 20 and early 20s to realize that not only I have a right to have my own opinions and I don't have to accept what everybody else is telling me, but that I actually I have enough of a voice to express those opinions. If you're never taught how to recognize your own opinions, you will struggle to voice them. But once I learned that I not only can have my own opinions, but they can be valuable and helpful to others, and that they are important, just as important as the opinions and thoughts of other people. So that was such a big part of this journey, those beginnings from learning and then starting to practice these new inspiring ideas that I was learning about. What really took things to the next level was learning about Tantra. Because I was already confident at that stage, but I was still giving into so many different hang-ups that the society at large is giving us about how we're not good enough in order to sell us things, in order to market things to us. This whole marketing world is really built upon giving you insecurities so that then they can sell you a solution. So creating a problem that really wasn't a problem before, but now they have a solution that you might want to buy. Entering the world of Tantra took everything to the next level because I started to see and untangle for myself all these messages and ideas and all this conditioning that the society was steeping me in from all directions, where I just was constantly convinced that I was not good enough, not pretty enough, not slim enough, not fit enough, not this enough, not that enough, and hence I needed to get these creams, makeup, cosmetics, stuff, treatments, etc., etc. That's when I started to recognize that actually a perfect human being is someone perfect in their imperfections, and that the imperfections are what actually makes us human and normal and perfect. When it comes to sort of ongoingly maintaining that kind of confidence and that ability to see myself as absolutely fine the way I am, A few other things really help me. One is affirmations. So definitely working with affirmations, particularly, on YouTube or anywhere else, you'll find so many affirmations that are already recorded that you can just listen to while you're doing other things, where a voice is telling you how, you're amazing and wonderful and capable of anything you desire, and how valuable you are and how loved and appreciated, etc., etc. Like, hearing this kind of words and this kind of messages is so beautiful and uplifting and helpful in the world that is trying to bring you down and squash you to make you feel bad so that you spend more money. Second tool and second thing that helps me is my spiritual work. Because when you spiritually adopt this idea that you are part of the divine, that you are sacred, that you are part of the universe, which is perfect and beautiful and amazing, then why would you give in to any ideas that you're less than amazing, glorious, and beautiful? Why would you go with the idea that you are some kind of fucked up creation of God, the universe, the architect, whatever whatever word you use for some kind of larger, bigger than us awareness and intelligence? This just goes completely against what I believe and cherish in my spirituality. And finally, another really big sort of piece of wisdom and advice I want to give you is to recognize that everybody around you is struggling with something. Everybody around you has some kind of hang-ups and challenges when it comes to their self-expression and their confidence, etc. If you're walking to a room full of strangers and you're feeling just scared and shy and uncertain, or potentially judged by others, or not good enough because here's everybody and they're amazing and gorgeous and fun and all know each other, or chatting away happily, etc. And here are you, the little potentially not good enough you. Something to understand is that every single person in this room is probably having the same thoughts as yourself. Every single person is looking around and other people thinking, oh my god, are they judging me? Am I good enough for them? Am I gonna make a fool of myself? Am I gonna say something wrong, etc.? Every single person has got something that they are struggling with, and nobody is just standing there going, oh, she's to this, he's to that, he's not good enough. People don't do that. They literally are too self-absorbed for that. So there is actually this kind of funny meme that I found on Facebook, I think many years ago, in how in your 20s you worry about what other people think about you. Then in your 40s you come to a realization that you really don't care. It just stops worrying you. But then by the time you get to your 60s, you realize that nobody was thinking about you in the first place. Well, we don't need to get to our 60s. We can realize it now. Nobody is judging you. Nobody is stressing about how not good enough you are. Everybody is, to some degree, in some kind of a way, absorbed by their own insecurities or worries or struggles in life. So these are my thoughts about the journey of going from being not confident at all to actually developing, cultivating, and strengthening my own confidence over the years. I hope that this helps you. I hope that these different practices and ways of looking at life and yourself can be helpful, and that it can inspire you to live a better life and to express yourself in your humanity in a much more powerful, satisfying, and fulfilling way. So what would mean a lot to me if you enjoyed this video is if you could leave it a like and a comment below. I respond to all the comments personally. And maybe even subscribe if you would like to hear more of my thoughts. I don't have a fixed posting schedule, so make sure to subscribe to not miss my future thoughts, musings, and ideas. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next time. Bye!